When you have the brake pedal and this in the car at the same time, there's a clearance issue. The brake pedal swings right through here. So I really need to shave down this area. So I need to take down some material on this, and the bolt. The bolt is the hard one. So I just have it on the table. We're gonna see if we can take this bolt off and maybe plug weld it on this end, and let's just see what we're working with here. Just so you can get a better idea as to what's actually going on. We have the steering column here, and this is the brake pedal bolted into the stock Isuzu location, just barely. We got about a 1/16 of an inch to work with to get removed. So I want to take this, put it on the table, and see if we can do something with that bolt. Obviously, I could just modify the brake pedal, but I mean, if I can just modify the steering column, it's easier because I don't have to worry about bending, relocating, because the location of the brake booster is right there too. So I don't want to actually move the brake pedal, otherwise I'll have to move the brake booster too, and that's going to be a pain in the ass. So if I can modify the steering column, it's just going to be less of a headache for me. Here it is on the table. Let's see. I believe these are 19s. No. 17s? 18s? Really? Really? That's fine. I don't care. I don't care. The steering column adjustment. There we go. Okay, we got one greasy bolt on this side, and I assume that will mean that we have one greasy bolt on this side. What we have here is some kind of locator pin that's just bolted in. What I'd like to do is try to get a good grip on the very edge of the threads, cut this hex off, run it in, and just weld it, and then cut it flush. So I do have to be careful because the thing that it locates on is plastic, so when I go weld, I'm gonna have to do really quick tacks and cool them down really quick. So I'll have to thermally shock it, but it's at stake of melting the plastic, so you do what you gotta do. Come in on the bandsaw and just ever so slightly. You picking up what I'm putting down? On this thing aren't that crazy. So I won't have to worry too much. And the question is, how far do I go? Roughly about there should do. Checking to make sure it operates normally. Yep. Alright, I'm going to bring this down as close as I can, tighten that arc so that I have really localized heat and the heat doesn't spread too far. So let's just run this in real quick. One quick tack. Well, I'll tell you one thing, that's going to be a pain in the fucking ass to get out. I don't think I'll ever have to, though. So I'll come in on a later date and take a little bit off, just for flex in general, but for what we're doing now, for all our intents and purposes, this should be just fine. Well, it's the point of no return. Well, as if that wasn't like 7 months ago, but... completely bare on the top and the bottom. Let's see if we can get a better clearance. If we put it... So we can take meat out of here and here. This is useless. With a considerable amount of fabrication in front of me, it's kind of in my interest to make abrasion and cutting in general as clean as possible. So I've actually opted to start relocating all my abrasive stuff to outside. So this wall right here, that's my shop right in there. So I'll have power coming through there, maybe even some shop air. The main task right now is actually... Alright, next. definitely coming from the passenger side. Oh yeah. Make sure we don't hit Alistair's car now. Get back.
Recording. Record over there. Look right there. You put it in, though. I'll hold your hand.
I had to get something. Motherfucker, sideways. There we go. Once it goes off a cold start, it's gonna die. You do what you gotta do.